John, thank you so much for meeting us here down here at Crossroads. Now, this is a place that you work at. You run the food pantry here. Tell us about that.
Sure, yeah. Well, I've been here a little bit, going on 8 years now.
Wow.
Been volunteer all that time. I'm still a volunteer. So, yeah, I started a garden here back in, I think it was 2016, about a year after I'd been here.
Yeah.
Michelle Eisen, the former executive director, she always wanted a garden, and here I came along and was going to get that started for her. So.
Yeah, you told me now you've always loved gardening. It's kind of therapy for you, right?
Yeah, it always has been. As a kid, I always had, help mom and dad at the garden, out, on the property out of Masonville and things like that. So it's kind of in my blood still, and yeah, I love to do it. I didn't love it always back then because I was made kind of to do it, but now I just love it. It's what I do.
Yeah, now we're fixing to. They see behind us here, and they see that the garden, it's already been weeded. You had a group come out the other day and do some weeding, and it's about ready for us to get started today. Is that right?
Yeah, I had a good group come out, and they took care of all the weeds. It was pretty well grown up, all that warm weather that we had, and they did a good job on clearing it out, and it's ready to go. It's ready to till up and plant some seeds and plant some plants and water and take it, take it off. Yeah.
And we got a group of men from St. Benedict's. I think it's kind of cool because Crossroads, for those of you who don't know, Crossroads is multi-purpose building here. It is a women and children's shelter overnight, and by day it is a food pantry, which you run, the food pantry, and this community garden is going to go to help both. Is that correct?
That's correct. Initially it started out to help diabetics in the community, and it's grown to help out the homeless and just anybody that wants to come along and get fresh vegetables or just enjoy the scenery and kind of get back here and relax. So yeah, it's a good thing.
Now it's kind of cool, I think, that we have a different shelter, a men's shelter. There's some guys there who are going to come here and volunteer and help us today with the community garden at a different shelter, different locations. So it's kind of cool when organizations come together and work together, don't you think?
Sure. I think that whenever somebody has a resource like a community garden or something like that, and others might be interested in it sometime down the road or something, they can maybe get some experience by doing that. That's how I started out. I didn't know a thing about raised bed gardens, and I went to a local church, and they kind of helped me out along. So it took off from there. So
yeah, well, tell us. So obviously we're going to be helping you plant the garden and getting it going today as our project, but tell us about not so much about the shelter part of Crossroads, but the part that you really are involved with and run is the food pantry. How many people y'all feed a month?
Right now we're averaging around 1,700 people a month.
Per month?
That's 500-600 families. So that's what it averages out to be. So yeah, there's definitely a need in the community, and we do the best we can to try to supplement their needs. And we're open 4 days a week. Monday and Wednesday are our senior program days, and we're open from 9 to 3 on those days. Tuesdays and Thursdays, seniors can still come on those days, but it's more geared towards the general public, and they can come in and get their groceries for whatever they need.
I gotta say, speaking of, you all have a lot of friendly faces. I've been here volunteering with my daughter before, and on other occasions with my family and stuff, and it seems like people that do drive through, I've seen some of the people we're talking about, they're kind of like, this is my first time, I don't really know what's going on, and everybody's just so friendly. It's like, you're shining that God's light through it, you're letting them know, like, hey, it's okay, we're going to help you out, it's all right. It's not, I've never felt it like a stressful situation here. It's always felt like pretty laid back and just welcoming.
Yeah, we actually have a lot of fun here. We're kind of like a family in a way. All of us have been here for a pretty good while. There's might be some new people that have come along, but they seem to fit in pretty well. We like to joke around and have fun and get the work done, and at the end of the day we can look back and say, hey, we fed a lot of people today. We did a lot of good.
That's awesome, man. What would you tell, you know, there's people going to be watching this, no telling what community they live in, and their community may have something like this that they can go volunteer at. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're even thinking about, you know what, that's something that we could benefit from in our community. What would you tell them?
Well, I would, you know, just if they're interested, if they need something to do, just come on down and try it out. I mean, that's how I got started. I was looking for something to do in the afternoons, and 2 hours turned into 7 hours, you know, 7 days a week.
So you'd probably want to go volunteer at another food pantry before you started about opening your own, right? To get your feet wet, so to speak.
Yeah, it does take a lot of work, and there's a lot of red tape or stuff that you got to get through and things, but it does take a lot of work. And
well, thank you, John. I appreciate it. I know our volunteers are going to be showing up here any minute now, and I always tell my co-host Teresa Rowe it's not here today. I always say we're going to get our hands dirty, but we're literally going to get our hands dirty today.
We're going
right?
to try. Yeah, we're going to get them a little dirty.
A little
today.
dirty. That's good. And beautiful day. Thank you, Lord, for the weather. Man, couldn't be more perfect,
sir.
right?
It's going to be a blessed day. Yes.
All right. Well, let's get to work. Ready?
All right. Yep. Let's go.